Paper anime.
Let's go, paper anime, dude.
Stupid.
Do your thing, dog. Do it.
Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome back to last night's podcast, and tonight we're gonna be talking about paper anime. I mean manga.
Manga.
Yeah, manga,
Alright, first-
fucking. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, we have Budo calling Warp with us today.
What's up?
The infamous.
Sure.
I've seen more of him than I've seen of myself.
All right.
Well, we don't see the thing today. We don't have Squiggles. Zon's here. He's just chilling in the chat, muted. But I was thinking
Don't
the other
worry,
day
we'll
about
put
Squiggles.
a picture of him.
I was thinking the other day about Squiggles. Like Squiggles, I've seen more of Squiggles' butthole than I've seen of mine in probably the last few months. Probably just the last month.
Likewise.
Likewise, dude. I've seen way too much.
I've seen too much of that asshole, dude. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, Squiggles is busy, but we're gonna talk about paper anime.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I don't know, dude. How did everyone get into this?
If I had to think, the most relevant would be probably Shonen Jump back in the day. Those big ass fucking books.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Is that really
Going
like
fucking-
you just saw Shonen Jump? You were like, oh, this appeals to me.
Well, I mean, it all kind of connects back to anime, really, because, like me, I watched Dragon Ball on television, and I was like, oh, fuck, look at this. Here's Dragon Ball, but in fucking comic book form, because, that was my thought process. And then I just fucking bought it at a 7-Eleven, and it kind of went from there.
Are you
It
serious?
kind of seems like Shonen Jump was kind of the entry for like manga in America, honestly.
Yeah, it
Like
was
for most people.
definitely a major point, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like that's pretty much how I got into it, all of it.
was it because you've seen anime before and you're like, oh, this looks cool? Or
I think so. It's like
I remember tuning into Toonami. Toonami was huge for like anime in America, I think. Like most people tuned in Toonami after school or whatever. Like I remember watching Dragon Ball Z. That's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And then like at a grocery store, like Doc,
I saw the Dragon Ball manga, and that's how I bought it. And then Shonen Jump was like this compilation of all these different kinds. So I bought it, and I remember everyone in class would read the same thing, and we'd all bring our Shonen Jumps into class, and it was a thing with all of us.
it was pretty cool.
see, I think
And you
mine's a little
kinda-
different.
Hit me. What do you got?
Well, alright, so obviously it's like Pokemon I saw. Then
Yeah.
eventually somehow I got into contact with Dragon Ball Z and like Rurouni Kenshin. I couldn't get into Inuyasha. I didn't get it.
I never.
I
got
watched
it.
Yu Yu
I never got into
Hakusho.
Inuyasha.
I didn't understand what I was watching. I just thought it was cool. But then I remember, because this was like 5th grade, 4th grade, and I was like starting to get into this probably around 6th grade too. And I remember in middle school, which was 6th grade, because my mom would used to take me to the library, and next to Nintendo Power would be like the manga. And at first, I just look at it like, whoa, it's Goku, and try to read it. But told you, you're reading it wrong.
Yeah. Like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with this shit?
And I would be so mad. I was like, this is stupid. Like, don't tell me what to do. So I remember I remember probably someone in the library was trying to like, oh yeah, man, like the OG weeb guy, yeah, bro, this is, you read it from right to left. I was like, no.
No.
But
Not what you do.
and that's how I came into contact with it, but it was definitely Shonen Jump, but I didn't buy Shonen Jump. It was more like my friends had Shonen Jump, and then they showed me, and I was like, what is this? And then I started buying Shonen Jump.
Yeah, I could totally understand that. I feel like because of mainstream animes like Dragon Ball and stuff, it really helped give more popularity to other mangas in Shonen Jump, obviously, especially for Americans. Because you'd be finishing reading Dragon Ball, and then it'd be like, oh, next page, what the fuck is this? Yu-Gi-Oh! Before Yu-Gi-Oh! Became a big thing.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so
just
sick.
the manga.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Was huge.
Yeah, dude. Especially, dude, those crazy fucking arcs that the original series had. It was fucking nuts. That was some of the best shit, though. Honestly.
What was it, Duelist Island or whatever?
Even like
That shit was crazy.
yeah, even before that, when they would just like not even play like the card game yet, they would just play like fucking with dice and shit, and it'd be like, oh, if we're gonna play with dice, and
I
Yugi was,
remember
like,
the dice game.
yeah, and Yugi was kind of like a villain, and he's like, yeah, if you lose, you fucking die. So have fun with that because you bullied me. So honestly, all that stuff was fucking crazy back in the day. That's even how I got into JoJo before I knew what JoJo was, because there was like one chapter in the fucking one of the Shonen Jumps, and I read it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then and then I forgot about JoJo for like 10 years until the 2012 anime came out. And then when they got to that chapter in the anime, I felt like it like all hit me. I was like, holy fuck, I have seen this before. It was crazy, but there's so much shit you don't realize, you know, until you think back about it. You're like, yeah, there's so many mangas I have fucking read, which is cool in the long run.
Yeah, because
I also I kind of feel like manga was a little edgy too, you know.
Well,
yeah,
it
you totally feel
was,
edgy
because it had blood and stuff.
Blood, tits, all that kind of shit, dude.
It really,
like all that shit
did.
the Japanese are comfortable with.
Yeah, that's what kind of made Diverge and
not
made it for
not necessarily comfortable with, probably like artistically comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing about Japan, because at work we have Japan Week, and I was just thinking like, it's kind of weird how much of a paradox Japan is, where like they're very like high tech, like edge of the market on technology, but at the same time they're very like traditionalist. In the same times with their views on like edgy stuff and sexuality and stuff, their art is like just blatantly boom, we're not Puritan, but in the way they usually act is like very formal. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It is weird. It's definitely like a paradox.
They're definitely just a paradox, and I think that's the cool thing about manga. I guess but let me just say it in a cool way, because Japan's such a paradox. It feels like a mainland with an island, etc., etc. Oh my god, Jack. But like the same way, see, like for us, we grew up cartoon or like comic books were for kids. In a way, you could say that manga is a paradox because it's like for kids, but it's really for adults as well.
Yeah, and especially, even like you said, even though it's Shonen Jump, which is supposed to be for little boys, the audience range of what Japan got away with in comparison, you know, to like what we expect little boys to watch, you know? Because little kids over here back then, it was like, oh yeah, you watch fucking SpongeBob and shit. But them, you know, it was Dragon Ball and all that. And that's why when we got the animes, they, you know, heavily fucking censored them. But then when we got the mangas, it was a little better. A little.
And I thought it was really cool because they always showed like blood. Like, alright, so the first manga I ever bought was Rurouni Kenshin, Volume 1. That's the first one I bought because I was like, I need to. And it was at like that. Remember I told you about? I don't know if I told you guys, but I said it before on this podcast. There used to be this ghetto Super Nintendo Japanese shop, and like I love that place. And they would sell like all this weeb stuff. I didn't know it was weeb. My mom would just take me because they had like Mario and Yoshi from Super Mario World and the thing. I was like, oh, you play this game? So that's where I bought my first manga. And my friend bought Naruto.
So sorry.
At the time, I remember when Naruto came out. See, in Shonen Jump, I was reading Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Naruto, and I would try to read One Piece, but I thought One Piece was like too dark, just from the look.
Just from the look.
Just from the look.
Some guy in a straw hat.
Well, no, he had like swords.
Is he dark for you?
Dark. Dude.
It's weird, right?
The fucking clown, dude.
A clown.
That.
Oh, clown.
Oh yeah.
But then,
dude, Go ahead.
Then I watched it like I tried to watch One Piece. 2 years ago. Yeah, exactly 2 years ago. Around this time, I was trying to get into One Piece, and I was like, oh my god, I should have just watched this as a kid.
Yeah.
Honestly, I watched One Piece. I was huge into One Piece as a kid. I got all the way up to like near the second half of the series, and then I just couldn't anymore. By that point, I was like, it was like a year ago, and I was with One Piece for like 10 years, and I just couldn't stay dedicated anymore because I just felt like the plot was just running thin. I don't know. I thought the plot lines were a lot better in the first half, and then second half it just, I don't know, wasn't as well in my opinion.
That's the thing with these shonen series is that they go on too long.
Yeah,
It's
because
like they burn them dry.
One Piece had a great plot to start, but I don't know, after a while, everything just felt too samey, you know? It was always the same thing. Luffy fights bad guy, there's one specific character who gets a really sad backstory who's only relevant for that arc.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy beats the shit out of the main villain and is like, oh, I did it for you, and then they fucking cry, and they're like, oh my god,
They
Luffy's
cry.
my fucking hero.
They always.
That's what happens.
See, like, what I used to talk to my friend about, when I was getting into anime, manga, or whatever, my second time around, first time it was all like, yeah, it was making sense. Like, all my friends were into it. I thought it appealed to me. I thought it was cool. But, like, my second burst was, again, 2 years ago. He would tell me, like, yeah, dude, like, especially, like, with One Piece and stuff, I was asking him, like, well, what do you find cool about this? It's, like, it's kind of formulaic. He's like, yeah, but it's the way he does it. You know, like, every time Luffy has to figure out something new with his stretching.
Yeah, and it's like, I can't disargue with that, because, honestly, at first, it was really unique how Luffy had to fight opponents, and characterization was actually really fucking good. But then after a while, he used the same kind of style to characterize people, and after a while, you just knew, oh, okay, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, you know? He kind of kept using the same idea, and it got really boring after a while.
You think this has to do with the way manga's consumed?
I mean, especially One Piece being such a cash cow, you know? Because it doesn't matter at this point. One Piece's writing can go down the fucking toilet, but it's One Piece. People are gonna fucking buy it still until it's finished, you know?
Well, at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at Naruto. Naruto's writing was fucking god-awful near the end, but people bought it because it was fucking Naruto, and they wanted to see the ending.
Look at Baruto.
So, I mean...
Or, yeah, people were buying that shit, too!
Yep. Just because it's associated with Naruto.
Yeah, see? So it doesn't matter. As long as, at some point, it connects, and it's well enough, and it gets a fan base, that's it. It can be as shitty as it wants once it's established, because it will still get...
Oh, rip.
Dragon Ball is how fucking old now, and it's still milking cash like crazy.
And that's the problem. And it's like, for a while, Dragon Ball you could have been like heavily respected, because for 15-something years, you know, it was gone. It was like, okay, Dragon Ball's over. Nobody thought it would have came back.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Battle of Gods came out, that was it. It just, once again, Dragon Ball became the cash cow.
Well,
Super, you know.
I mean, like, ever since about, like, 2012, 2013, when the Earth was supposed to end, I've noticed that people have been biting the nostalgia hype way too hard.
Yeah. No, it's so true.
It's true.
It's true.
Everything is all the nostalgia hype. And for some things, it's really cool, like, for example, like a Final Fantasy VII, where I didn't grow up with that.
Yeah, I agree.
They're remaking it. It gets in Smash 4. Say what you say about, like, the remake or the thing, it brings it up again in, like, our subculture. But before we leave the Baruto, my favorite thing I saw when I went to go see Kizu Monogatari Part 1 at the Independent, I was looking at the pictures, because I remember Cho was saying, yeah, look if they have, like, any future screenings. I was like, yeah, sure. And I look at their, like, wall. First thing I see is Naruto, the last movie. I was like, and the picture next to it, Baruto, A New Beginning.
That wasn't fucking long, was it?
Nope. And I was like, wait, what?
Wow.
Sometimes.
God, dude, that's just fucking great, honestly.
But, see, like, an interesting thing to me is, like, so anime is, like, so expensive there. Blu-rays are so expensive. Like, for 3 episodes, about, like, $70. Well, it's, like, Aniplex prices, where it's, like...
Yeah.
Like, for example, Volume 1 of, like, Seikano, which just half
Yeah.
half season. It's about 70, but in Japan it's probably like 100 in our
Yeah.
equal.
It's crazy the prices because like I was looking at Funimation's website. Samurai Champloo on Blu-ray, full complete series is $50.
Oh
thing.
my god, I'd BRB.
You know?
BRB.
Everything's so fucking cheaper, especially if Funimation are the people that distribute it. It's over.
But then like you look at manga where it's like it's actually cheaper over there than it is here.
Yeah, because we get it. What is it like? Almost $10 for fucking one volume.
And they get it probably like for $4-3.
Yeah. So it comes. You know, everything comes with its price.
And that's the
We get
benefit.
cheaper anime.
That's why like more people will read manga. And it's more like it's kind of classy too. You can just read it quickly.
Dude, I mean, like, it's like anybody, like, my example is, like, you know, the JoJo fans, like, who have the superiority complex, because they're like, I read the manga, so therefore, you know, I'm better than you, because you're the fucking anime fan, you know? Because, I don't know, for some reason, when the manga is so much farther ahead than an anime, and you know everything that someone else does, it just gives them a fucking ego, and this could go for, like, any fan base, you know? And to others, it, like you said, it's classier to read manga.
See, and then that brings up another idea I just thought of. Because you said Champloo. And Champloo is anime original, right?
I believe so.
I believe so. Like
Yeah,
most of what Watanabe does. One of the most famous anime originals that like made original anime its own thing. Ava. That has a manga.
Yeah.
Yes, and the manga went on for over 10 or almost 15 fucking years. It went on for a really long fucking time.
Of the whole show?
No, the manga. The manga went on. It established the show, but, you know, had changes and whatever, and even the whole ending has changed. Here, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I remember I talked to Yoshi, like, after he, like, rocked my world by making me watch it.
Yeah.
This is almost a year ago. He told me that the ending had, like, a different type of, like, feel.
It's radically different.
It's very different.
Because it was the character designs, right?
And on top of that, it's like, if we had to pick a fork in the road of Shinji's decisions type of deal, let's just say, like, if Shinji made a different decision, you know what I mean?
Right. Whereas in,
It's
like...
kind of like... it's kind of like the rebuilds, you know, where Shinji finally managed to fuck up, and because of it, everything goes to shit.
It's a sequel.
Well, let's just take out the everything goes to shit part, alright? And that's pretty much what you have.
Well, I mean, they also have, like... I didn't even know Angelic Days was a thing.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's a fucking trip. That's such a funny-ass manga where...
I'm gonna read it. I bought all 6 volumes. Because I
Dude,
saw it.
Gendo is a homie in that.
It looks like it.
Gendo.
It looks
Dude,
cute.
oh my god. Wait till, Valentine's Day or whatever. That's, like, one of the funniest fucking chapters. Because Gendo just makes that chapter.
I
so
can't
good.
wait. But yeah, alright. But saying that, what do you guys think is better? Like, animes that eventually get a manga? Or how about, like, even light novels? Like, light novels eventually get mangas after the anime, or after that setback, or manga that get adapted into anime or whatever.
Yeah, or visual novels that get animes and then mangas.
It's
Like all
weird.
that kind of shit.
Well, I kind of feel like regardless if it's a manga or anime or like a light novel first, they're all going to get adapted into something eventually.
Into one or the other, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I always feel like the original is always going to be the most faithful and, like, the best,
Yes.
honestly. So I really don't think it matters whether it's anime first or manga first. The original is always going to be the best.
Honestly, I agree with that, and I personally feel that it all depends on, you know, the animators, the studio, everything else, or whoever's creating manga or anime.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some points, even in, like, the Evangelion manga, there's some stuff that's done a little better, but then there's some stuff that isn't done as well. It all depends on the writers and everything else.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the manga or anime version, the secondary version, can be really good, and sometimes it can be god-awful. It all depends on how faithful is the source material, and how willing is to make risks, and whether those risks are actually good or bad.
You know what? When you say risk, my favorite, even though this is not a manga, which I don't think this guy will ever let his shit be manga, but Nisio-sen, the writer of the Monogatari series and Katanagatari and Zero Ghetto, which is getting an anime soon. Like, Studio Shaft that took that, they're fucking weird. They're like, let's say they make like pop art anime. It's very weird, but like, I was gonna get asked this later on, but that was the first time I ever because I read part of the book and then I went to go see the movie. So this is the first time I ever read the original source, like in the light novel form. Then went to see the anime, because usually it's like backwards for me, because it's like, oh, anime, then I'll go check the manga. I did it with Berserk. I haven't seen anime. I did it with Tokyo Ghoul. I'm doing it with Haruhi because I'm reading a light novel, and I haven't seen anime yet. But I did that with this, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, the way they adapted it was like genius, and they take risks. So sometimes I think that is true. Like, you need to take risks. Like, the biggest example of another one who takes huge baller risk is it Studio David?
Oh, David Productions?
The guys who do JoJo.
Yeah, David Productions.
They have the balls to put words and just have like the characters go, ooh.
See, I feel like, and
they have the balls, dude.
It's as faithful as an adaptation as you will get, and at the same time, there are risks that are took, you know?
Right.
It's just everything about the JoJo anime is one of the most faithful adaptations I've ever seen, because there's little to no scenes taken out. With the scenes that are taken out are some of the most irrelevant things, like the first JoJo, Jonathan eating a piece of fucking chocolate. Like, we didn't need that, so they cut that shit out, you know? And even voice actors, they honestly sit down and take the time and decide who really will fit this character, and they'll think about it for fucking like days, you know, until they finally think they pick someone who can perfectly recite lines from the manga in their vision and Araki's vision, you know?
And it's gotta be amazing, because like, you think like these people definitely grew up reading this, and then they get to like take a chance. And not only that, you see all these new anime, if they're cool, they're always gonna make a JoJo's reference.
It's true. They
always
fucking do it.
Always.
It's like, and honestly, it was the fact that they even talked Araki into it is shocking, considering the first two adaptations that were related to JoJo, which were the OVA in the 90s and the movie in 2007, were god fucking awful, and he hated them with a passion. So the fact that they were even able to talk him into making another adaptation was a fucking shock, but thankfully it worked out for the best, you know?
But then that comes to the sad ones, where it's like toy animation, anything that has to do with Studio Pierrot.
Yeah.
Which is your One Piece anime. Your Tokyo Ghoul anime.
Yeah.
It's fucking satanic. Because I read Tokyo Ghoul, then one week I got sick and I was like, I'll just watch it. And I watched it all, and they switched some things around, and I understood why. Because one part was like more impactful, like, I don't know if you care for spoilers, but one part is like, it's like a mother and daughter situation. It's like very deep. So they switched that with a different situation to make that like the season finale. And I got it. I was like, okay, it doesn't mess it up too much. But the worst part was like the second season, because the manga had not finished at that time. They just went with their own story.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because at some points these studios decide to take too far of a risk, and they're like, instead of even staying near the source material, they pretty much create a fucking fan fiction.
Budo, I know you hate anime. I'm guessing this is what happened, or what do you think? Why do you have a distaste for anime?
Hit us, Budo.
Budo.
It's not necessarily that I have a distaste for anime itself. It's just that lately I feel like anime has taken such a disgusting turn that it's just become so desensitized towards what it originally began as. Like Astro Boy,
That was like one of the first anime of all time, and it was
the
great.
first one.
But now it's become so like I don't know.
Like even me, like I know the whole anime was a mistake thing is a total meme.
Yeah.
But maybe Miyazaki was completely right in saying that like it's become overrun by otaku culture, which is basically just
he's
fetish.
100% right.
It's like
fetishizing anime characters, like mostly obviously the girls. That's basically what it's become.
And it's a shame because if you mind, I add on to that. It's like a lot of animes now don't go for what Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, all those established where there was a lot of meaning behind it. It's just here's your moe garbage, laugh at it and be happy, and think about how the characters are cute.
Yeah, it's like how much can we really sell off of this anime? That's basically what it's mostly become now.
Well, there's some truth in that, and then there's some distruth. But the biggest, like, where, like, how much can we make money out of this is Aniplex. And Aniplex is... Well, alright, cause let me get there. Aniplex, I respect their high Blu-ray prices. I respect it. I understand because they're like, yeah, this is you pirate. This is expensive. This sucks. This is how much we have to charge to, like, make our bread, break even. It's really sad.
Yeah.
But then, like, the problem that I have with Aniplex, like, the true problem is that they own Good Smile. They own these companies like Cospa, or they have a good connection with, like, Cospa, which is a clothing company. Anything they make is gonna have, like, the most limited edition figure with them.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is not, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, one of my favorite light novels, I guess, but I got into it from the anime, was like Seinai Heroine or Seikano. Anime sucks. It's not that great compared to the light novel. But because it's under Aniplex, they're making a 1-to-1 life-size figure of each person. And they can do that because it's Aniplex. They can sell it.
Yeah.
That's where I see the monetization thing. But then another thing is, I think, especially, like, we started with Toonami, like we said, the filter is taken away because of the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We were filtered heavily, and they had a lot of shit. But, like you said, the problem today is, like, it's kind of like hip-hop music, or popular hip-hop music on the radio. What's going to be the banger? What's going to be the hit?
Yeah.
But
honestly,
there's
everything's
some
a fucking
good
meme.
stuff.
It's a meme, alright? Metal Gear Solid 2 was correct. Everything just goes with the fucking flow. Everything goes by memes.
Manga's a meme.
Dude, I think the trend of where anime is going is a meme in itself.
Well, like, for example, Kyoto Animation, all their, like, they have, like, some stills which are, like, the perfect reaction photo.
Yeah.
It's literally for the memes sometimes. But I don't know, dude. It interests me because it's like, it's gonna happen. We'll see. Like, has there ever been one manga that you read, then you try to watch the anime? Anything like that, Budo?
I think the only reason I've ever read a manga and wanted to watch the anime is because I wanted more of what was, like, to offer, you know? It's not necessarily that I wanted... I don't know. It's like, obviously Dragon Ball, I started watching it because it was on Toonami, and then I started reading the
manga. And then I wanted more of it because obviously it's an incredible series. And I started watching the anime, and I kind of felt disappointed because it's obviously just like a money grab. Toei Animation, obviously.
Oh, yeah, and you can tell.
You can tell. It's like cheap animation.
Filler to death. They run it for so long. They're just trying to milk it. That's what most anime is these days. If it's like adapting from something, for the most part, anyway.
Yeah, which I agree, honestly. A series that I read before the anime actually came out was Gakko Garashi, which was, you know what that is, where, School Live, fucking...
School Live, dude. One of the best first episodes. Which...
Read the manga.
I could not finish that first episode.
Dude, it's hardcore.
No, the first episode, like, from 0 minutes to, like, the 20th minute, I was like, this is so stupid.
Oh, and then
That
you
20th
realize
minute.
how fucked it was. Yeah, honestly, and that's how it was. I read the manga, and don't get me wrong, the anime is a pretty solid adaptation, and I understand they had to constrain some things because it's in a 12-episode time period, but they changed so fucking much from the first 20 chapters that they did actually, was work. Now I got a brain fart. That they adapt it. There's so much, even characters are completely fucking different from the manga to the anime, and it kind of upsets me because they kind of just did their own fucking thing, and it's not completely faithful. But at the same time, it's still good for what it is,
See, like, and you can tell that anime was. See, the way they even. Because I read some of the. I think I read the first volume.
Yeah.
Because I was so compelled by the first episode, and that's what their goal was. Because what they did was the first episode, they don't do the twist, right?
No.
They just tell you, all right, this is a fucking zombie world, and this bitch is crazy.
That's like
she's
manga
on
just
PTSD.
throws it right in your fucking face.
Where this is like they show you like the
And I like
where's
that.
my dog? And then in the end, then she's like smiling over like a bloody window. It's a beautiful day, and then it's like all these zombies. And like, oh my god, this is so sick. But it's like, that got a reaction out of everyone. Like Twitter was blowing up. It was insane. It was great. YouTube.
One of my friends who only watches like action animes and psychological animes and stuff, I showed that to him, and he's like, "What's this fucking moe shit?" And then by the 20-minute mark, he was hooked. He was like, "This is it. This is what I need in my life."
Real quick, talking about like moe shit, I hate when people do that. Because one of my personal favorite manga, I haven't read much, is Yotsuba. Yotsuba. Well, Yoshi and Cho, one day, again in the car ride, yelling at me, "Why aren't you reading it?" Dude.
Dude.
It's an adorable manga, dude. It's adorable.
And you know what? I hope it never becomes an anime.
I hope so too.
And you know why? And this is why I think I like manga in a sense, is like the experience that you have is your own experience. It's very personal.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you pace it, and because usually what I do is I'll read a joke, laugh it, laugh, boom, check Twitter, look at stupid things, then think, oh gosh, that was so funny, and then go back and then knock it out.
And I agree. And sometimes, and it's weird, it's going to come off odd how I explain it, but I feel sometimes when you read a manga, you get your own perspective of said manga, which can be radically different from someone else's reading of the same manga. Whereas an anime, because it comes from a straight director, he or she kind of leans you into how they envision it,
Yep.
They kind of want you to see it how they see it. Whereas when you read it yourself, you get your own envision of said manga. That's how I see it a lot of times.
I think that definitely leads to a lot of demonization of like anime adaptations of manga, because it's like a single, not necessarily a single director, but it's like a few directors who try to give you their vision of things. And if there's directors aren't incredibly invested in it, you're not going to get like the faithful, experience that you would get from reading the manga for yourself. You're not going to understand the series that the author intended for it,
Yeah, which is entirely true, Even a good example, in my opinion, is actually because I read One Punch Man's manga, and whether you read the web comic or the one made by iShield 21's author, either way, it still has the same feel. And don't get me wrong, the anime was had great animation, great fight scenes, blah blah blah, but that's it. The manga doesn't, like, the fight scenes are there, but at the end of the day, it's all for comedic action. Whereas in the anime, sometimes it really tries to go over the top and make it this great fucking like shonen-esque kind of show, which is why we get all these arguments of Saitama versus Goku and all this shit, because even Saitama's characterization isn't done perfectly proper, He still kind of comes off as a badass to some people. Whereas in the manga, you see how much of really he's just a guy, you know? He's just so fucking plain it hurts.
That webcomic has so much heart.
Which is, you know, that's how I see it, but I've seen other people say that too.
I think, just for One Punch Man, I think only the first episode is the best episode. Like, how I've seen it is that I think that first episode was really good. We talk about this, me and Doc, how, like, we thought that first episode was probably the best. What's it called? If it was a short film.
I don't know if anybody heard that.
Yeah, it's all good, dude.
Okay, because I, like, froze up for a sec. Okay, continue.
But that first episode is a really cool... It could have been, like, its own short film.
Yeah, and honestly, that's how I see it, though, because there are at times in the manga, where he does really cool shit, but Madhouse, because it's Madhouse, tries to go over the top sometimes, and it's not as over the top in the manga as it is in, say, the anime, you know?
That comes back to the cash grab. Well,
Yeah.
I also think Hunter x Hunter is a good, like, example of a good manga adaptation for an anime. And the thing that, like, they do in Studio Bones is they'll stop. They're like, okay, there's no more. We're not gonna mess this up. We're cool for now.
And then they'll just bring it back when there's enough source material to go from.
They probably won't bring it back. That's, like, the sad part.
Yo, speaking of Bones, Mob Psycho 100 has been a pretty accurate from the webcomic / manga. It's actually been very well done so far. I gotta give Bones that.
Alright, since you're bringing up webcomics, how weird is... Have you ever read webcomics, Budo?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Because it's weird, because, like, it seems like there's a trend where these webcomics are another, like, medium in the whole, like, manga, light novel, anime.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, because it's just all comes back to the spectrum, you know?
Thanks to One Punch Man.
Yeah, thanks to One Punch Man. One Punch Man was really the franchise to kick that off, you know?
It's like, this is a genius idea. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And trust me, I love the anime, but that's just my opinion on One Punch Man in comparison from the manga and shit, you know?
But I wonder how, like... Alright, because they're the same, like comics, webcomics, manga.
Yeah.
Do you guys read comics? I know you do, Doc. Do you read comics, Budo?
Yeah.
Not much like American comics now.
Alright, what would you say is the appeal from, like, manga compared to, like, those comics?
I feel like in Japan, manga is considered like a very, like, it's a staple for youth, you know? Like, almost everybody reads manga as a kid, but in America, it seems like comics has this kind of, like, nerdy stigma towards it. It's like if you read comics in America, you're kind of a nerd, but I don't feel like it's the same in Japan. I feel like manga in Japan and anime even itself is kind of like a norm, you know?
Yeah, that's why you can walk around and see like a fucking 50-foot, you know, RX Gundam. Fucking, you know, it's just normal there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that.
It's really interesting. I don't know. It's like it's total culture shock, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like another reason is because, you know, obviously there are the exceptions like, you know, One Piece and Naruto and Dragon Ball Z for a good, well, now Dragon Ball Z, you know, with Super and everything. But I feel like, you know, with at least some franchises, the authors know when to end it. It's normally one author, they get their story out of the way, bam, it's over. But with characters like Spider-Man and Hulk, they're never going to go away, you know?
No.
It's a constant change of authors and a constant change of abilities because, you know, one author doesn't remember what the other author 5 fucking series down said about Spider-Man, you know? So they have no fucking clue. So the continuity is kind of just fluctuating fucking everywhere.
In a way, would you say... Because that's, like, the really sad part about comics. Yeah, you know what? That's true. That's, like... See, manga is very, like... Boom, boom, boom. But if you have a spin-off, they're like... This is a spin-off.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
exactly. Whereas someone like, superheroes, there's no spin-off. It's just
They're
here
the
you
anime.
go.
They're anime because they're the vision of the director.
Yeah,
They're anime.
it's like, I don't know. Some authors try and end it in a sense. Like, there was one Venom series, Agent Venom, which the first 21 chapters was made by, I forget the guy's name. I'll look it up in a little while. And they had a cohesive story plot and ended in 21 issues. And like, he pretty much implied this is the end, and anything after this is just non-canon bullshit. But because it was pretty popular, Marvel decided to continue it with like 5 other authors, and it just never worked from that point.
Mm-hmm.
Every 7 issues, they'd have a different author because the other author was just not as good as the guy who made the first 21 issues. So sometimes authors try and make a ending point, at least for their version of the character.
Yeah, dude, because, like, how would I think about it? See, like, the only comic I've ever read was, like, Red was a Sandman by Neil Gaiman, and that's on Vertigo. And that's super sick. It's edgy as fuck. But, like, I stopped, and it's not the same as manga, where it just, sometimes it's drawn shitty, especially, like, right? Sometimes it's just, like, drawn bad. It's not, like, super, like fucking scenery. It's like, oh, man. I don't know, sometimes it just feels like it has more heart in this, not because it's like, oh, this is from me to you. It's more like, it's very much cut to the chase. Like, there's no, like, that sad song, and then a weird shot to, like, try to convey the emotion. No, it's just, boom, you have a word, and you have the moment, right?
Your raw fucking emotion, take it.
Well, like, for example, alright, Buddha might not know this. Shitty manga, don't read it. But I love it. Dog loves it. Nisekoi, the shoe episode. The shoe.
Oh, that was good.
And I went to go look at the panel. And I loved, in the panel, like, in the sheet, they just, like, cut to gray. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, if you were to read it, you're like, whoa, it's just gonna hit you. It's like, dude, he got rejected. And the best part, no dialogue. It's just like an empty bubble. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it's just so. That was a perfectly portrayed episode.
And the way, well, obviously Shaft, they're insane. The way they did it, it was just like, it's just like a white noise of rain. And it's just like, you see the mouth moving. Like, and I was like, fuck. It was so good.
It was so fucking. It was hurtful, man.
But you can't get that from, like, somewhere else. Like, you get that from a manga.
Yeah, and it's true. Because, I don't know, like I said before, you get to inform your own perspective on that certain moment, You feel your own feelings because it's just straight up right there. There's no music or anything else trying to cue that emotion from you, It's just, here it is, what's your opinion on it, feel,
Alright.
I don't know if you guys have ever read Oyasumi Punpun or anything Ennio Asano related.
I'm gonna get on it because you keep telling me.
But it's like he created Oyasumi Punpun in a way that it could
not be adapted into an anime. He, like, strictly says, I created this just so it could not be adapted, because he believes so much in that idea that the manga, his vision is what his vision is, and he wants you to get your own
feel for that. And if he fears that if it's created into an anime, it's going to be too straightforward. You're not going to be able to form your own ideas about it because you're just going to be spoon-fed to you,
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's,
speaking of...
I blame light novels for that.
Yeah, light novels have that issue.
Light novels, like, because it's a book, people are like, how do you say? They're kind of babies about it. Where, like, because there's so much dialogue, instead of showing you or, like, portraying it with a different, like, with visuals, in a sense, because that's what anime is, it's a visual medium. They just write it out with words. And it's super annoying.
there was a similar concept with, I don't know if you guys ever heard of The World God Only Knows. Really good manga.
Good
Probably
harem.
one of the, yeah, it's one of the better like romance harems out there. It's like, but the first 3 arcs were adapted into an anime, but the 4th arc never was, and everyone's always like, oh, why not? Blah blah blah. And the reason is because the author practically states is because there's such a tone shift, and the manga honestly tries to make you think a lot of from the character's perspective and everything else without straight out saying what their thoughts are. That if they turned it into a anime form, it just wouldn't work as well, because then, like you said, it would be just spoon fed to you, and the overall message at the very end of the 4th arc would have zero meaning. It just wouldn't fucking matter in the long run, because the whole time you were spoon fed the message.
Would you say because like the way a visual medium? Well, because alright, technically the other one's a visual medium. This is a 3D visual medium, anime. More, I don't know if I'm using the right words. But you get what I'm saying? It's a TV medium. Would you say that's why, like, people will still read One Piece but not watch it? Even if it is the same thing where it's like, yeah, in theory, or in... From what you see, yeah, it is just straightforward.
Yeah, on paper, you know. It's
literally on paper, but
literally on paper, it's the same shit. But I feel like a lot of people will still read the manga over watching the anime because, like you said, you know,
because there's an emotional connection.
There's still an emotional connection. I feel there's a lot of people I know that will purposely read the One Piece manga, but just ignore the anime entirely because they said the message is still really well in the manga, whereas it is in the anime because, you know, it's Toei. They don't give a shit how it's done. They don't care how it's done. They're making money off it. Whereas the author still cares, you know. He still cares enough to put a pretty good fucking story behind it, you know, but the manga always depicts it better because it's Toei. They don't fucking... Sad, but it's true.
You know, I think a good example of being adapted into anime is the original Full Metal Alchemist anime.
Yeah,
it's like they didn't adapt it fully, like to the faithful
manga. They adapted it in a way that the manga was still ongoing, so they kind of like did their own ending to the story. It's like it was completely like they took Full Metal Alchemist, they took the ideals, but they made it their own story without it being just a cash cow. It was
like, I don't remember how many episodes it was, 50 something. But they came up with their own original idea. They came up with their own original ending, and they completed it, made it their own.
It was on Adult
They
Swim,
tried to make it good.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Same concept with Hellsing, when Hellsing's manga wasn't finished yet. So the first Hellsing anime, not the OVAs, it started off the same, and then they just took all the ideas of Hellsing and just went with their own fucking story, pretty much, for Alucard. Same shit. What were you gonna say, though, Swerve?
Well, the cool thing is that, like, that's what Bones did.
Yeah.
They did it, and then and they tried, but then after, when it was done, they're like, all right, let's do it. And I think aren't they the forerunners of the remake? They are, right? They are. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is that boy. That boy. But, like, alright, I watched Full Metal... Like, last summer, my goal was... So, last year, because it was, like, my first real year, like, getting back high speed into anime, I decided to watch Full Metal Alchemist. My friend let me borrow all the DVDs. And what I got out of it was, like, alright, this is cool. I don't really care for the characters, you know, whatever. Except Mustang, because edgy.
But what about Armstrong, man?
Armstrong is sick.
Alright, Armstrong's sick. Alright, never mind. But, like, what I came out was, like, dude, this is just solid.
Yeah.
And in a sense, like, when you just do an all-out finished work, it's just going to be solid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how I see it. But something that's not solid, the most 40s to, like, manga is the one, the only Berserk.
Berserk never catches a fucking break.
They really don't.
It never does.
Here's my theory. I talk with Yoshi. Our theory, because our theory is for stupid things. Our theory is that I don't know. I don't think we said it, but I think this is this is my mentality on it. Berserk is so meta that Berserk is just as painful. You get to experience what Guts gets to feel.
Yeah.
That's how meta it is.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is what's gonna happen. In 30 years, when JoJo is finally wrapped up, David Productions is just gonna go to Berserk, and it's gonna be another 30 years of that. Watch. Just watch.
You think they would?
I don't know. I feel like David is one of the people I would trust more with a series like Berserk, because I know they have the potential to adapt something like that well, unlike the CGI bullshit we have this season, whatever the fuck that is.
Well, I mean, like, everyone trying to adapt Berserk, and everyone that has adapted Berserk, doesn't do the entire story, you know?
They never even had the golden age.
It's difficult. It's difficult to do that, because you have to do the first arc, which is like the Black Swordsman arc. Then you do the Golden Age. Then you do the current arc. That's difficult. Like, you have to put a lot of dedication into that. And I mean, what studios actually have that kind of time and money to put that much dedication? You know?
They have
like if that crashes and burns, you're losing a lot of fucking money.
You're going into fucking debt.
Yeah, you are. So it's like, it's very difficult.
So you have to put a lot of dedication to it. So I understand why there hasn't really been any like faithful adaptation of Berserk. You know.
I understand, and it's true, and it's like, honestly, JoJo had the same logic for 20-something years, because you had the OVA in the 90s, which crashed and burned, and then you had the movie, and the problem was JoJo took time. JoJo was really established, and when Duke Productions came around, everyone thought it would just be another shitty adaptation, and when it turned out to be good, and it turned out to be successful, that's when they said, let's continue. So Berserk needs a lucky break like that in order to succeed, you know?
And that's why I think a lot of mangas are best just being manga.
That's what I was
like
gonna say.
Berserk, like,
what's wrong with
like that's incredibly difficult to adapt.
And there's slight chance that it will be adapted faithfully. So maybe some things are just best left as they are.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Basically, yeah.
Which is, it's totally true, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If you made Berserk as faithful as it is and put the time into it, you might as well just call your studio Berserk Productions.
Exactly, that's gonna be your studio.
You're gonna be there a long fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it needs it.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It really doesn't.
To be honest, I really don't.
Berserk is big as it is.
Everyone knows Berserk, right? Most people who like anime know what Berserk at least is.
Well,
yeah.
When you get into it, it's like, here are the staples of anime, or this culture that we're in. Ghibli, you gotta know your Miyazaki, you gotta know your Eva, gotta know your Bebop, gotta know your the big three, One Piece. Well, you don't have to know them, but you know of them. One Piece, DBZ, Naruto, etc. That's pretty much it.
Evangelion is up there sometimes. It depends.
It should be up there.
It should be. That's the thing.
But Berserk is always like this is the most badass thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know. I don't think it needs it. Just like Yotsuba. I don't think Yotsuba needs it. Other ones.
Some things are better as a manga,
And because this happened to me recently, the first time where I was like, I forgot what season it was. I think it was spring. Last year spring, I watched like everything. And I watched one. It was called Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, or Yamada-kun Nino Seven Majo.
Oh yeah, where they fucking switch bodies and touch themselves. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I like those shows. I like rom-coms. But here's the thing: is like Crunchyroll had it on their manga app, and I was like, oh, I'll read it, and I read it, and then I finished it in 2 days.
Oh, the whole series is out?
It's not out because it's still going. But I finished
Oh,
like
it's
the
ongoing,
first,
but you caught up?
the
Okay.
first major arc. The first major arc. All
Yeah.
149 chapters. And I was like in shock because I was like, dude, I've never felt so like, I've never been so like hyped. Like, oh my god, this is so fun. It was like, oh, there's a twist. Oh, there's this, that. Then it was like the third week of the anime. Try to watch it, and then I just see that they packed in like 20 chapters into one episode. And I was like, no. So I didn't watch it, but I just knew what happened.
Yeah.
But that was like one of my first times where it was just like I blazed through something because I was so into it. I don't know. That's how I see manga. It's like I feel like sometimes I should probably just do that.
Feel that though, honestly. Heaven's Lost Property was a manga I read. It really, it's like, hypothetically, it's not long because you look at it and it's like, oh, 72 chapters. But then you actually open a chapter and it's like 70 pages and you're like, okay, this is really long manga. And while the anime, I don't even know how to explain the anime. The anime sometimes is really accurate, and then sometimes for 5 episodes they go with their own fucking plot. Somehow this is my logic of the studio. All right, they do what I said, then they go with their own plot. Then somebody goes, "Oh fuck, guys, this didn't happen at all. Steve made that up on his fucking own." And then they have to kind of try and fix what they did by redoing it, but also making what just happened that they came up with fit. And it's really fucking stupid how they do it. They did this for 2 seasons, might I add, and then a film. And then they just stopped because they realized it was a fucking mistake. So, I don't know. I still thought the anime was amusing enough to read the manga. And I read the manga, and it was so fucking deep, and I was like, how the fuck did this even, like, where did it go wrong? Because, yeah, you look at it and it's like, oh, it's an ecchi. But then you read the manga and you realize it's not ecchi like the anime is. It's actually a really fucking deep fucking plot about religion and shit, And that's the problem, again, where directors kind of give their own fucking vision of something and animate it.
But what's the, like, a manga you read and you're just like, boner?
Like, what do you mean? Just like any manga that I've read that I got a boner over?
Well, obviously, like, you've been reading the longest, and I think you've been reading, like, the whole time, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
So, has there ever been, like, your, like, self-realization moment where you're, like, probably, like, 3 years down the line, 5 years, you're just like, dude, fuck yes.
Like, you know what?
I just looked this up right now. I remember reading this manga called Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad. I don't know if you guys have heard
Beck.
of it.
It's about the band. I heard. I heard the anime.
It's a fantastic manga, and it goes like 100-something chapters. Incredible. I loved it. I remember reading it like freshman year of high school. I consumed the shit out of it.
That's badass.
Because I was obsessed with like Nirvana at the time. And like the character Ryusuke is like basically modeled after Kurt Cobain, right?
Too sick.
And I remember they had an anime as well, and it only went. I'm looking it up right now. It only went like about 26 episodes, which seems typical of like
most anime series, right? Most anime series, if they're done just like as a one-time project, it goes about 26 episodes.
That's the older ones. Nowadays it's 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
you have to earn that
26.
second season. Yeah. That's how it is now. It's weird.
It ended
on a note which was like maybe less than halfway through the manga, but in its own way, it felt like a real conclusion. Like this band starts as nothing, and then they go to they perform at a music festival, and everybody checks them out. Everyone leaves like the main stage to go check out this band that everyone's talking about. And that's the note it ends on in the anime. And it really felt like a fulfilling ending in the anime, even though I had read the manga too. So it kind of feels like sometimes directors can make their own, like, I don't know, like really good contribution to their own vision. And it feels complete. Yes. It feels complete.
And that goes. Wait, you've heard of No Game No Life, right?
Yeah.
No Game No Life is literally make the 12 episodes to sell the light novel and manga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
that's what they said.
Battle.
They're like,
Yeah.
we don't got that much. We're just dropping this. Please buy our book. Like at the thing, the end card, they just showed the next volume. Check it out.
That's Trigger made Inyo Battle for that exact reason. They made 10 episodes just to be like, please go read the light novel. Because it was in a collaboration with some fucking people, and they're like, we really like these guys, so we made this animation for them. Please go fucking, check out the rest of our light novel, please, and maybe we'll make season 2.
But see, hearing that about Beck makes me happy because then that's what they did with Hunter x Hunter. Is like they knew, like they finished up to his hiatus. I forget his name, but the way they ended is like he met his dad, and they left it off like open ended. But it was like it was a great ending, and I was like,
yeah,
this is this is cool, and I think that's a great thing that some people can do is like get you to read it. Like, hey,
yeah.
let's read it.
The World God Only Knows, again, sorry to bring it up, but it did the same thing where they knew they weren't going to make season 4, because they just knew that the author wasn't going to go along with it, whatever. So for season 3, they ended it, where it was supposed to end, but how it ended, it just felt complete. Like, if you never read the 4th part, it honestly, it's like you would have thought it was over for good, Because how it ends is it ends, so it's like it ends on a sad note, but at the same time it ends perfectly, So you could fucking look down the road and be like, holy shit, there was a 4th part, and never had a clue beforehand because they would just ended that perfectly.
Yeah.
You know
The
what?
thing with that too, the anime also just like a small thing is that it was adapted from a manga that had to deal with music. So the anime, in order to adapt that, they had to provide music.
Yes.
They had to adapt the music that was in the manga
in the anime. So that's something you can only get in the anime that you couldn't get from the manga, like a soundtrack, So I mean, if they're gonna adapt something like
that, they have to put a conscious effort into it.
Yeah. Which is, honestly, that's great.
And that's kind of cool. Like, another one that I think K-On! Was a webcomic when it came out, and then they made the anime. Because KyoAni, they love to make, oh, not yet, but they love to, like, just adapt things from Kyoto. One of the coolest things is that, like, Sound Euphonium, Hibike Euphonium, is a novel from an author from Kyoto. It's a novel about a marching band. Fucking made a great anime, and their second season's I think this fall. But like K-On!, another one about music, not really. It's more about friends. Shut up, Swish. He hates K-On!. I love K-On!, but like that's true. Like you can't get that like heart like the one part when you hear like Yui when she's first learning to play guitar, she's really bad. But then there's that one part where like in the beginning of season 2, you just like she's playing without like her cable inch connected. She's just like practicing, and you just hear like the strumming of strings without like noise, and you're like, fuck. And it sounds better than like how it's sounding. I don't know. Sometimes the anime will bring it out, but one manga which I'm always curious about because the anime I think is perfect is You Already Know. You already know.
You already know.
Have you read Ping Pong, Budo?
I actually haven't, which is kind of crazy. When everyone was talking about ping pong, like obviously we're part of like the Melee community, and I remember everyone was freaking out about ping pong, saying it was like so relevant.
See what happened? Oh, do you remember why it became relevant?
I honestly don't remember.
So it's ended in fall, I think, 2014, fall 2014 is when it aired. And that's around like December-ish, almost January. And the winter season's like from January onwards. Right before, what's it called? Before Apex. Laughing tweets. After he wins Beast 5.
That's right.
He writes, everyone please watch Ping Pong. It's amazing. And you know what I did? Because that was like February, right? Apex 2015?
Oh, January, but pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it was January.
I watched Ping Pong, or no, I think it was after. It was a little bit after Apex. But I remember seeing that tweet, and I was like, "What is this?" And yeah, and then he had his amazing run. It was so inspiring because that moment when Leffen won Beast 5, super inspiring.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But Ping Pong, dude, it is pretty. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely fucking hype. I still have to watch more of it. I've seen like the first few episodes.
It's an incredible anime. It really feels like
It feels like its own series. Like, I'm sure if I read the manga, I'll love it. But the anime itself, since I got to that first, it really feels complete. It feels like its own series. It feels incredible.
It feels holistic. It's not just holistic. It feels like like Alien. Cause
it
it's
really
not really
does.
anime. It's like these characters aren't really tropey or character. They're fucking humans.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I think that's such a great example of like a good anime because so many anime falls
Into tropes. Like, so
Yeah.
much anime these days are based off tropes. And it's become such a trope that anime, like, making fun of anime is a trope.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's got to that point, but Ping Pong
felt it did feel alien. It felt like its own thing.
It felt so, and that's why, like we said, taking risks. Like usually the best studios take balls to the wall risk.
Yeah.
Like Shaft, which is like another example. Madoka, fucking weird. Another weird one.
Madoka was wasn't that anime first though? I know.
Anime first, but I'm just saying, like for example,
Yeah.
it's just weird. You have little girls, and Satan is a little cat.
See, yeah, but
it's weird,
the
but
anime
like
works so fucking well, you know?
in its way. But for Ping Pong, they're like, this is not anime, dude. So we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna try to make it look like anime. It was just so awkward. It's like they say terrible animation, but when you really look at it, it's not terrible. It's more like it's like post-impressionist. I don't know if you guys know about a little bit of modern art.
Yeah,
It's just lively, dude. It's sick. And that's a manga where I'm like, I can't believe I haven't read this. And
I
dude,
can't believe it either.
look at that year, 1996 to 1997.
So ahead of its time, and it's kind
kind of funny that it just got completely overlooked. Like, I don't really think many people were talking about it until it got adapted into an anime.
Well, it actually got adapted to a live action film. I remember.
Really?
I saw this on J-List. They have the live action film there. And they have like Peko,
Really?
like, ugh.
Oh, that's right, 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then the anime came, and obviously these guys, the Tatsunoko, whatever, they also did Tatami Galaxy, which is another weird looking one. But like, alright, real quick with Mappa. Mappa, off branch of, what's it called? Madhouse. The dude left after fucking, the beautiful art that is, God damn it, I forgot his name. Redline. What he's done is, so what I think is cool, I don't know if Tatami Galaxy is the same, but Mappa, they're like, we're gonna bring back all the old manga and old anime and we're gonna make it new again. He just said that. Because they did Ushio no Tora. So he did Ushio no Tora and he's like, alright, we're gonna start just adapting old anime. And I think even Days, the soccer anime that's on this season, it feels like an old sports shonen anime. A lot of yaoi. It's cool.
All the yaoi.
All the yaoi.
The tropes.
It was a cool first episode, but it was just like the blonde dude was like, yeah! I was like, oh. Alright.
Right, that kind of deal.
But like, that's the thing, it's like, dude, this Ping Pong would have gone down into the dust. 96, 97?
Yeah.
It's a good thing of anime. But dude, I feel like I should just read this.
Yeah, I feel you. Feel like it needs to be done.
And look at the names of the manga. It's pretty sick. It's Smile, Peko, Ball, Hero, Dragon, Butterfly Joe, performance.
I love Butterfly Joe.
I just love everyone in that show.
Names are great.
And there's only 11 episodes.
Yeah. That's incredible because
Because they had a vision when they went into it. That's the thing about like this. I don't know what this studio. I don't know what else they've done, but clearly, if they're seeking out like 90s manga that no one really knows about, clearly they're doing it for the art side rather than a
profit.
Well, Tatsunoko is actually one of those really older anime companies. They were making anime back when Astro Boy and shit was around.
They have their own time spot, right?
Yeah, I know a lot about Tatsunoko only because of Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, which came out in 2008, and I played the shit out of that. And I was like, yeah, I'm playing as all the Capcom characters, but who the fuck are the rest of these guys?
Yeah, I just saw it. Tatsunoko vs. Capcom.
So I looked into it, and that's where I found all this shit out. So I don't know. I want to say they're like a more well-respected version of Toei, Like they're the Toei if Toei went down a good path, That's what I'll say about Tatsunoko.
That makes sense.
They help with the visual novel, the opening animation. They help with some of Neon Genesis.
Shit, man.
Shit, dude.
They've done a lot. They've done a fucking lot. They honestly have. They have a very good history in anime. They're just not talked about enough. But I mean, they were talked about enough to get Capcom to make a fucking fighting game with them. So
Ping pong.
I don't know if that's just because they were desperate because they couldn't get Marvel, but they did it.
It's just so cool. It's ping pong because the way ping pong is, the shots are manga shots, and it's so like rough, and the way it is, it's like a manga. And it just makes you think like this is, you know what? Because you know how we say it's like the vision of a director. This is his vision while he was reading it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I feel ashamed that I just haven't been like, let's go fucking read this. Right?
Well, you've inspired me, Swerve. I kind of want to read it right after we finish with this.
Well, well, I've been reading so because I got a new phone, more memory. I got my manga app back. I started reading Hajime no Ippo. So, one thing that I started like to do, because back then or last year even, when I was just watching anime, it was just like watch. Okay, cool. What did I get? Oh, it's fun. Blah blah blah. This that. Titty popped out, etc. But now it's like ever since like Ava, ever since like Monogatari, thanks to you guys, this is all forced by you guys, by the way. Even ping pong, because I watched ping pong about 20 times. I just look around to notice like the little hints,
the little things, right?
I've been trying to make it what's it called? Trying to make an effort of, instead of just like killing through manga, because usually that's what I do, is like to think like, dude, someone took the time to draw this frame.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I do the same thing.
So like, because obviously Hajime no Ippo, boxing, fast, like pop, pop. I'm still in the beginning where he just joined, and it was pretty badass because he's like, he like was punching a tree and trying to catch the like 10 leaves in one hand or two. The guy told him 2 hands, like in your hands, but he saw him do it with his one hand, so he was practicing. It was just a jab, right?
Yeah.
And it was like he did it, and like, but when you see like the lines, the streaks, and then like the sweat going off, and you're like, like as a person who makes music, everything I'm doing is intentional. Like,
yep.
Yes, I know this is out of tune. I want it to be out of tune. It's like, best example of that is John Lennon. He on purpose made his B string on his guitar a little bit flat, just so he can know, oh, I'm sounding pretty good today. On all the Beatles recordings, his B string's a little flat, so he could differentiate himself from Paul.
That's so interesting because I see these memes, and this has existed for a long time, where it's like a kid in a high school class, and their English teacher is talking
about a book or whatever. And they're saying, like, the teacher is trying to reach with the idea that the writer writes that the curtains are blue about something. And then they try to explain why the writer wrote that the curtains are blue. And the kid will just say, well, the curtains are blue because the curtains are blue.
blue, there's no meaning to it. But it's not true. Like, the author or creator of anything art always includes some kind of meaning to every single thing that they do.
Yeah.
Everything has meaning. Everything that they do is there for a reason. They never do anything
just because it's arbitrary. They do it because they want some kind of meaning behind it.
And even if it's accidental,
you can still make your own interpretation.
They let it be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Evangelion, perfect example.
This morning, because I'm listening. I was listening to Thundercat because I just been on my Thundercat again. I'm listening to the. You'll probably know it from GTA 5. The oh shit, on next. But I fucking love Thundercat. He's amazing. He's an angel, or no, he's a unicorn. And I was telling my sister, like, all right, there's this one part because people are mad about like Kanye in the currently when he's trying to do trap, he's kind of sounding stupid. Like okay, feel like cold. I love it. I think it's great.
I love it too.
But like the one part where Thundercat in that song, he's just like a big and then in the pause, oh shit, on next. And I realized like the whole time he hasn't called like taking ecstasy X yet. And the song is called oh shit, it's X. So it's about him like feeling this experience for the first time, and he's just like, oh man, dude, this is groovy. Just rush. And that's true. Like if you ever do that stuff, that's literally how it happens. You're just sitting, you're like, you're thinking like, oh yeah, this is what's going on. So
yeah.
It's just one of the silly ways where I'm just like probably like think, oh dude, he's so funny, he left it in. No, that's literally how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds so stupid. He's just like, oh god, that's a reason. And even like Kanye, when he's saying okay, he's letting you know. He doesn't have to say like him being there. They're paying him just to be on the verse. And he literally fucking said okay for a couple lines. He's almost like making a joke of, oh, you guys are going to say you have broads in Atlanta? Okay. I don't know. I'm reaching. We're all reaching. But that's the beauty of manga too. It does that. And I've been trying to make it a habit of like, let me, instead of just scrolling fast like, oh, he did a punch, oh, he dodged. I've been trying to like, oh wait, oh there's like a stupid face there. Because every little thing counts.
With manga, they have to do it panel by panel.
Mm-hmm.
Every single little panel, obviously, if they're drawing it, they're putting a dialogue bubble in it, they're doing everything about it. There's going to be meaning behind every single thing they do because they have to put
a conscious effort into what they're creating. So you have to read things with realizing that there's going to be meaning behind every single little detail that somebody puts into it, you know?
Even if it's stupid.
You know?
It's always going to be stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always going to be something there that is unintentional, but they'll go with it, you know?
Or it's memey. It's like, they have like inside memes within the meme, or within the manga.
Yeah.
Like they still put a conscious effort into it, even if it's subconscious, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like
still there.
Like you know how there's always a Superman figure or something Superman in all the Seinfeld episodes.
Yeah.
No, that's just
yeah.
And that's really cool. All right.
It's a perfect example.
One podcast to listen to is Skeptic Tank, which is comedian Ari Shaffir. I love his stuff. One of his podcasts, I'll link it later. Fucking inspiring. But he said he took a film class in college, and he had to pick a film. He was like, "All right, fuck it, let's do Pulp Fiction." And he said he asked the teacher, "How do I do this? It's just kind of badass, isn't it?" He's like, "No, watch it over and over and over and over again." So he said for like his whole spring break, He watched it like 20 times back over and over again, right, on repeat. And he started to notice, like, I think it's like a car. So you know, what's his name? Wow, I can't believe it. The guy from Saturday Night Fever. He's also Travolta. He says every time you see like a car or something, that means that Travolta's coming up. So when what's his name? Bald dude, Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis goes into his room, like when he's trying to bounce from the people, and then he says he noticed that there's a little toy model of a car. That means Travolta's in the room next, right? Remember in the bathroom, he's in the shower, he's taking a dump after he eats the food, and he walks in, boom, he shoots him. Little things. They don't.
It's like these creators put all this detail in it because it's their love child, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They want to put as much as they can into it, and a lot of people kind of brush over it, but it's almost like
a reward if you pay attention to these kind of things. Like recently, I've been reading Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace, and he believes...
right quick, just so you know, me and Doc and Swish, we've been fans of this guy named Endless Jest. His name is from that.
From Infinite Jest?
From that book, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
This is weird.
It's like, it's like David Foster Wallace was under this impression that he basically...
The entire book is about this movie that is so entertaining that it puts people into like a delirious state where they're just like gone from existence. They just watch the show to watch the show, and they never do anything else for their entire lives. So obviously it's
like a kind of commentary on the fact that entertainment is killing our civilization in terms of TV, because it's so easy to just sit down, watch TV, turn off your brain, right? But he's under the impression that entertainment can be entertaining but also meaningful. So in
Infinite Jest, he has footnotes. So you can read a chapter and then there will be a footnote where you have to skip to the end of the book. So it means you're having to pay attention to every single line. And I think that's what most creators trying to do with their art, is they want you to pay attention to these things. They don't want you to just sit there and just take it. They don't want you to just sit there, watch it, and just not take anything from it. They want you to actually come out with something from the end. And I think that's also something I don't really care for in modern anime, is that you're not getting anything from it. It's just it's a tired story that you've heard a million times without any kind of, I don't know, moral revelation, or you're not learning anything from it. You know, that's what most anime seems like to me these days.
Yes, I agree. Especially the whole, like, one of the most obvious recurring themes is the whole, you know, guy from high school ends up in magical realm that he's never been in before and meets 5 different girls that he falls in love with.
It's getting so annoying.
Yeah,
but it's like it's such a male fantasy
that it's so easy to cash in on, and that's what it seems like. It's just a cash in most of these days.
It's not art.
I know Dengeki Bunko actually put a ban on that recently in one of their contests. They said if you have that theme, don't even bother.
Yep. I read that article. I was dead.
Which is fucking hilarious in my opinion. They're like, please don't try.
One guy in this Weeb Discord I'm in, he's writing a book exactly about that, and I'm just like, can I be Kirito? Name me after Kirito, bro. I'll do 2 swords. I'll take the Soon. I'll take the lolly. Let's go, baby.
Yo, the Black Swordsman returns.
The black.
I mean, the fact that they have to put a ban on something like that, isn't that indicative of a problem?
Yeah, thank you.
It's
I mean,
like
come on.
People are not looking within to make art. They're just... Dude, alright. Side story, because I know Budo likes music. We gotta do a music one soon.
I would be so down.
Isn't all rock today just like shit from the past?
It's...
In a sense.
It seems,
honestly, like most music these days kind of seems bitten from the past. It really does seem like that. And I think it's because music has become so accessible because of the internet age where anybody can make music. It's like an easy cash grab for somebody to just rehash what's been done in the past, but just add like a little of their own personal flavor to it.
and it's an easy sell because this is something that people have heard before.
Yes.
That's very easy to sell. If somebody's heard it before, but you can somehow put a little twist on it that people don't really notice it, it's very easy to sell. Very easy to sell.
Oh, I'm gonna play folk rock. I have an accent, and best part,
Yep,
I got a banjo.
exactly.
I'm Mumford and Sons.
I forget which singer it was, but all she did was just put Numa Numa in the song or whatever. And you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
It was like Rihanna or one of them.
I don't want to go there.
I don't want to go there. Listen, I have to listen to radio and shit every ride to work, and I fucking hate it, okay? Because it's the same shit all the time.
To the Yoshi, dude, get your speaker on Bluetooth and just bump. It's super ghetto, but I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's just what happens, and it's kind of sad. And you know what? Could the same be said with manga? Is that what's happening with manga? Because I feel like manga, you kind of have to like, because of the way it is, the way it's like so raw. It's you're because I watched a little bit of Bakuman, the manga about making manga, and I thought it was badass, like the way they did it. But like, it's so personal.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, what kid in Japan doesn't grow up wanting to be a mangaka, dude? It's so prevalent over there that's such an easy thing to write about. That's why it became so big. Every kid wants to be a mangaka. Everyone wants to write their own manga, create their own insane story,
For us,
and get
everyone wants
celebrated.
to make a movie.
Yeah, that's how it is over here. Everyone wants to be a movie, a director. Everyone wants to be a rock star. That's just one of those easy fantasies.
It's one of those yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Or like playing sports, like, oh, I want to play in the NFL, same shit.
Yeah,
It's just what's most easily digestible in this society. It's very easy, straightforward stories.
Why do you think those DC and Marvel movies are so big? They're so easy to digest. It's about a hero and about a villain. There's no moral gray areas in them. It's either you're bad or you're good.
Yeah, that's what sells it.
That's what sells. That's why people love it so much.
And that's why it's like so different from the comics, because the comics, at points, depending on the author, it can have a lot of meaning aside from that. But with the actual Marvel Cinematic Films, it's literally what you said. It's cut and paste. Villain, bad guy, here's story. Look at Robert Downey Jr., he's funny.
Basically, yeah. They try to add a little bit of a depth to it, like that recent Avengers movie where their whole,
yeah,
they kill people on accident, blah blah blah. But it's like in the end of the story, none of that really meant to the overall arc.
Exactly, and that's the problem, because in the comics that meant like a whole lot. It changed Marvel comics for permanently.
Mm-hmm.
It was major differences, but even morals and everything. But in the movies, it's just, hey, look, it's Spider-Man. He's here, guys. Welcome to the new Spider-Man movies coming out next year.
And you know what?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a big commercial for everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And Spider-Man will reference, I know Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in it. What are we getting, Iron Man fucking 4? Is that going to be referenced next? It's a never-ending cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Never fucking ends, man. It's true.
What were you saying, sir?
I was going to say, like, that's the beauty of manga, is like, you can't bullshit me.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have to be outstanding to stand out.
It's such a competitive field because it's something that it's reliable. Most of the time, manga is reliable on one person. It's your story, your idea. How many people are in that kind of field? You really had to put something out that's completely exceptional, or else you're not going to make it in that field.
Yeah.
You're not going to eat. You're not going to eat.
Yeah, you're not going to... You have to put out something that's going to be worth reading. Something that people are really going to resonate with.
And that's like, when you think of the geniuses like Watanabe, and you're like, you wonder what honestly goes through their mindset to get such ingenious ideas,
Yeah.
And not everyone's that gifted, because then you have other writers like the writer of one series called Certain Magical Index. He has all the tools of a regular popular shonen, but he adds more depth to it to make it more seinen, so it's more serious. But because it's overshadowed by Dengenki Bunko's other series like Sword Art Online and Durarara, it never sold well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it had such big competition, and even though the story was good, it just wasn't enough to blow those out of the water popularity-wise, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, whether a story is fantastic or not, if it resonates with people, like you said, it will sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's such a barrier in art. It's like, do you want to do something that's faithful to yourself, or do you want to do something
That's going to sell? And that's like the crux of anime at this point. It's like, does the studio want to do something that they know is completely artful and they know is going to mean something, or do they want to do something that's going to sell?
What's easy to sell? You know, obviously otaku shit.
Moe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Adorable little anime girls. Fucking make some body pillows and you're on your way to fucking money.
How many anime studios are really willing to take a risk
these days?
True. You know.
Well, the way the business is, I mean, it's getting better. Look, that's the live action picture. How sick is that?
That is pretty sick.
We need to rabbit this.
That's fun.
I would be so down to rabbit
Yeah,
live action.
Oh my, wait, give me a sec. I'll post this in the podcast too. Look at this. This is the robot. I'm from Planet Ping Pong. Just call my name 3 times. But no, it's.
You can already tell the director had fun.
Another thing I was watching is like, I know you hate him, Fudo, but like something that like Digibro was saying is that I'll just say I don't agree with a lot of his points. I hate his idea of suspension of belief. I'm like, oh, shut up. Same with Swoosh. If you're hearing this, Swoosh, shut up. See this? Oh no, like well, we were watching something, and I forgot what it was, and he's like, why is he doing that? I'm like, dog, this is a magical land, and this bitch is a fairy. This is what's gonna set you to the side.
What did Swoosh get upset about when we were watching Resurrection of F? Something about like fucking iron or some shit. I don't remember.
It was some dumb shit.
It was yeah. It was Dragon Ball Z. It was. Cause I thought it was something else. I thought it was Fate, but I was like, no, he sucks Fate Stick. It was like, oh, I just hate that. They're like, oh, they're just gonna fight now, and I was like, there is a guy who destroys worlds, and he's a stoner. He's eating cheesecake. He has a gay assistant.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's Scar and Toph. That band, there they are.
Toph. And this is what is setting you aside, that they want to fight.
Dude, my favorite thing that he said, and it's like, it made me laugh because a lot of people bring up this theory I've heard before. He's like, okay, so isn't it some shit like when Goku or like any Saiyans like near death, they get stronger? I'm like, yeah, that's called the Zenkai boost. I explained the whole thing. He goes, okay, so why don't Vegeta and Goku stand in the corner, blow holes in each other's chests, and just eat senzu beans until they're so powerful they can't be defeated?
That's the point of it, is that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and I forgot to bring it up to him, but I'm like, I want to tell him the part in Namek Saga where Vegeta literally says that to Krillin, blow a hole in my fucking chest, and then get Dende to heal me. I was going to bring it up to him, but I never fucking did.
It's such an immature view on it, but, you know.
Yeah.
But before, like, to finish what, like, I was saying about what Digi says, one of his vlogs, because I like to see his vlogs because he just gets drunk and says stupid things. One thing he said, it just makes me think. He said, like, when a like thing like Bebop comes out, or like Ping Pong, everyone is not gonna suck its dick. Like, people are still sucking One Punch Man's.
Because One Punch Man's simple to absorb, and I feel like the problem is consumers at the end of the day, a lot of them just want something simple.
It's like AX. It's like AX. Oh, I'm gonna bring it up. Bring it up. Let's bring it up.
Do it.
Stupid Comic Con motherfucking rejects. Comic Con Rejects. I was sitting at a chair talking to this guy. Doc, you know what Clannad is, right?
Yeah.
Budo, have you heard of Clannad?
Yeah, of course.
I bring up. I'm not gonna say where this happened, but you already know. I already hated this. I was not happy. I spent $30. I'm bringing up stupid anime. Like, hey, what anime do you hate? And they're like, oh, I hate stupid moe shit. And I was like, die. All right. And I was like, oh, well, one that I actually hated was Charlotte because I think it was stupid. But it's a tear. Oh no, it was Tearjerkers. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, like the most famous one, Clannad. And then these three dudes look at me and they're like, what's that?
Wow.
And I'm like,
Wow.
Clannad, do you know Key? They're like downstairs, they have like their big old thing. It was like Clannad, stupid, what's it called? Little Busters, amazing. Stupid Charlotte, which I think is a failure. I'm glad Jun Maeda's should die. What's the other one? Rewrite, which is on this season. I think it's stupid. And I was like, what's it called? Angel Beats?
Yeah, Angel Beats.
It's like,
Beats,
I love Angel Beats. So I was like, you know Angel Beats and you don't know Clannad?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't.
That's a problem, though.
But that's what Anime Expo was this year. It was a bunch of people that were like, granted, it's my first con. I didn't know what to expect. I was just going in, open-minded, open-hearted. I was just ready to accept whatever came to me. But oh my god, dude, some people.
Listen, I went to one over here in New Jersey. Fucking what the hell is it called?
Guido?
Anime Next or some shit, right?
Guido?
And what's up?
You're Guido.
No, God damn it. God damn it. But like, and honestly, the people there weren't terrible.
Can you tell Budo, wait, real quick before you go there, can you tell Budo how you met the situation?
Oh, what?
Wait, what?
I met the situation not once, but twice. The first time, I went to a mall, okay? I needed a haircut. It was like close to someone's birthday party, and I'm like, I look like a shaggy piece of shit. Let's get a haircut. So I go to the mall to get a haircut, because I'm like, after I could go buy a game at GameStop or some shit, and I'm getting a haircut. All of a sudden, someone sits down, like, you know how the chairs are all spaced out. Someone sits right next to me to get a haircut, and I hear a familiar voice, and I'm like, that sounds really familiar. And you know how you kind of really don't want to, like, turn your head when you're getting a haircut?
Mm.
But I slightly glance my eyes over, and I see the situation, but at this point, I'm still doubting myself. I'm like, is this Mike the situation? So at this point, the fucking lady went to go get her drink or something. So I turn around, and sure enough, it's fucking him. So fucking Mike's situation. Now, granted, Jersey Shore is the stupidest fucking thing in my opinion.
Right.
Because it is exactly what my side of New Jersey isn't, but it's so stereotyped now. So he looks at me and he's like, hey, how are you? Like, but he gives me that look like, oh, one of my fans type of deal.
Oh, no. Oh,
Dude,
no.
At that point, I literally just want to spit right in his fucking face and be like, no.
Wait, and that's
So
the
that was
first
the
time, right?
first
Alright, and then, so you know how, like, in the Discord, lately, Yoshi, Fernie, I, Swoosh, and Squigs, we've been talking about old, shitty MTV shows, and we were watching, like, Next, and over spring break, me and Yoshi, we watched all of, Pimp My Car, and I brought up Jersey Shore because I have a Boobazella, and this was during the, like, a month ago or so, during the soccer, like, the Champions League, and I was talking about one time I worked at the camp where my sister is working, and I blew my Boobazella, and I made a girl cry, because, and I quote, she told me, he blew the grenade horn at me, and that means I'm a grenade.
What?
And we bring it up to Doc, and Doc's like, oh, aren't you from Jersey, and aren't you Italian? And he's like, oh, yeah, and then he talks about how he met him, and then, all right, and then what happened? This is like not even a week ago, right?
Not even a week ago, I go in the Discord that we always go in. I always forget the numbers because I'm fucking terrible. What is it? 17. What the fuck is
Don't
it?
call it 1738. Don't you?
Is it
You call it 1738.
1738.
Yeah, that's what it used to be.
I love you, Doc.
That's what it used to be.
You know we're laughing at you, right?
Yeah.
It's 1730. It's from a song.
Oh, there you go. See, that's all you tell me. Right? So anyways, I go on the Discord server, and I'm like, guys, I saw him again today. And they were just like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I saw Mike the Situation again today. And they were like, that was it. Because, Doc and Mike the Situation are secretly fucking related because they're both guineas, and therefore they have to be fucking related because they both live in Jersey. But pretty much what happened was I've been taking like a part-time job over the summer at a sub shop. So I was making a sub, and there's a pizza place right by us, a Domino's. All of a sudden, I see him. Now, granted, he's not from this fucking area. I don't know why he always shows up in this fucking area. Because he doesn't live around here. But every fucking time he's around here. So, he fucking pulls up. I didn't know it was him yet. Gets out of the fucking car and starts walking. And I'm like, please don't fucking come in here. I'm like, it's him again. This was the first time I saw him in 4 fucking years. I'm like, God damn it, Mike the Situation again. He looks like, I don't know, he looks so fucking deprived of life because when I first met him, Jersey Shore was relevant. Now he just looks like a fucking ex-Seinfeld fucking character who has no roles. And he just slowly staggers his way into the fucking Domino's. I'm like, thank fucking God he's not coming in here. And that was that, but it was just so funny.
Into Domino's, like, as an Italian, you would think he'd go to Italian pizza and he walks into Domino's.
Fucking course, Domino's. Who the fuck? What kind of Italian goes to fucking Domino's? Are you kidding me?
Only on the shore,
Situation.
dog. Only on the shore.
Only on the
Only
shore.
on the
But that's the thing. We're like, where I live is nowhere near the shore, so I don't know why he appears. I don't know why.
You gotta hibernate,
He's
dude.
like fucking Jaws. He just shows up every once in a while from the fucking ocean.
What a legend.
What were you gonna talk about again?
I feel like we have completely veered off the topic of manga at this point.
No, but see, this is where the plug comes in. Because I'm here from MTV to tell you about the Jersey Shore manga that's being released.
Matt?
Naturally, of course.
Oh, okay, wait. I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about this stuff, like Next and all that. But then they're talking about MTV, everyone's favorite discussion. MTV isn't about music or music videos anymore. And then one of them said, oh man, remember that show, The Real Life? And they're like,
oh no.
No, they're like, did you know, wait, did MTV create reality TV?
Did they?
They did.
Were they the first to really
They were
do
the
that?
first to create real reality TV.
That's actually kind of fucking nuts.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
it
creepy,
really is.
right? And that's what it is now. It's just reality TV. And it's like,
Where?
wow, they actually were the ones that create reality TV.
Let's just blame fucking MTV for everything wrong with
Let's
that.
just
Honestly,
blame MTV.
at this point, why not?
Honestly, we can. You know what? We can blame for anime too. Fuck
Fuck
it.
MTV. They did it all.
They did not
They were the
adapt the
first
Beavis and Butthead manga to its true nature.
They were the first people. No. See, they were the first people to fucking sell out because they let their anime, Ren and Stimpy, also play on fucking Nickelodeon.
Oh, they
And the
did.
Nickelodeon version drastically different. Okay.
And
So
that's what I was
fuck
thinking,
them.
like, this whole new anime stuff and the way they do it, this is, like, sounds so westernized. And it's like,
Yeah.
let's blame MTV. They did not follow Mike Judge Senpai. I'm gonna do
Mike Judge.
Mike Judge Senpai. Right, he's the guy who made, like, King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Bobby Hill,
King
Bobby
of the
Hill
Hill's
Coon,
Great.
Mhm.
Bobby Hill Coon.
Bobby Hill Coon. Let me Google Bobby Hill Weeb images.
Oh God, you'll find something.
There's always something with King of the Hill.
Oh man, I think it's good. Anyways, closing thoughts, I guess.
King of the Hill is still the greatest anime / manga, no matter what adaptation it
Oh, I gotta use that one. That's way too good. George?
Closing thoughts. Anime sucks. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all they got to say.
Read the manga.
Read the manga. At the closing thoughts, read the manga.
Wait, real quick. Do you say manga or manga?
Manga.
Manga.
Piece of shit. People when they say manga, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Fuck this. Dude, those are the people that watch the anime. Fuck them.
Attack on Gundam is my favorite manga.
Oh God, stop. End the podcast. It's over.
It's over. Kill it.
When you start making those jokes, it's over.
Alright, my closing thoughts. I need to start reading more manga. I feel
you do.
You know, alright. The legality wise, I know most of us don't read. Let's be honest. Be honest, people.
What?
No one's
I'm
reading.
a writer, so I read.
Same, I read.
No.
What
I'm saying,
I think Swerve doesn't read.
None of us.
Swerve, it's you.
No, none of us
You,
are
Swerve,
reading
you're
this
trying to make everyone
legitimate.
associate
Are you reading it on a legitimate site?
What, manga?
Yeah, where it's like,
Fuck
hey,
no.
some of this is going to the creator.
Fuck no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Like, and I think that's another place where they're like slacking on their game, where it's like, if you know, because like Marvel, they have their like subscription, and you can just read all the Marvel shit.
Yeah.
I would be totally down to pitch in, I don't know, even like a Patreon or like a Twitch sub kind of thing for that. That'd be dope.
Yeah. I agree.
I kind of think Shonen Jump does that, but again, that's just like Shonen Jump shit, you know?
Yeah, you're not getting everything.
I'm not trying to read Boku no Hero Academia. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
You're
okay.
positive. Dude, if you subscribe to the other branches, you could also read Umaru-chan.
God damn it. I don't want to read Umaru. Yeah, but I don't know. There's like no legit. That's just my idea. Like, there's the Crunchyroll manga, but that's like it's so shitty. They have nothing. It's Crunchyroll.
Dude, all right. This is my logic. Okay, and manga in Japan, fuck yeah. How we're treated with manga in America, fuck no.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Basically.
okay. Cause dude, all right. One thing is like the JoJo's. I'm like, you know what? My friends like JoJo's. Let's read this. What do you have I go into Kaikoknyo, whatever. I'm not gonna pronounce it. The bookstore in Little Tokyo. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
hey,
Kinokuniya or some
there
shit.
you go. I'm like, hey, do you have this in paperback? And then the dude looks at me like ashamed, like, it's JoJo. All the JoJo is hardcover here.
Dude,
yeah.
it's fucking hilarious because I remember going to, there's a Kinokuniya in New York, and I went there, and my one friend was getting into JoJo, and he's like, hi, do you have JoJo in, like, you know, in the hardcover? They're like, yeah, sure. They fucking hand it to him. He never actually opens the fucking book to look at it. We get on the train to leave later that night. He opens it. It's all in Japanese.
Oh no.
Got him.
He's like, well, that's fucking that, I guess. Fucking bought a Japanese manga.
That's
body.
And that's okay, guys. If you accidentally buy manga in Japanese, you can say that you read it in its original language.
I just didn't know a single word.
Oh, you read the manga? Yeah, I read it in fucking Japanese.
Dude, didn't you love the part when Joseph... yeah, no, I didn't know that. I just looked at the pictures.
had a squiggly. There's like a little happy face. You know, melee that like the two quotation marks and a little slash looks like a happy face. Always use that tag sometimes. Alright, well, we'll end it there. Alright, later, guys. Thank you,
Sounds
Budo,
about
for
right.
joining us. Come again.
Budo, we love you. You have to return for DBZ.
And
If you guys are doing DBZ, I'll be there.
we're doing it for Zon. And Squiggles, wherever you are,
He's in our heart.
we'll be missing you.